don't know what to do, Preston. I keep losing. I'm on a losing streak.
That bad?
It's bad.
How much you down?
I don't want to talk about that right now. Don't ask questions to answers you don't want.
What are you betting right now?
I took the over.
We talked about this last week. Which game was it at least? Not, don't tell me it was the Warriors, wasn't it? It's. Tell me this. What do you got lining up for futures bets in the NFL?
Lions Super Bowl.
Deep down inside, do you think they're due?
You know what? You're right about that one. I need a change.
Qwan. I think we need to take this to the couch.
I just don't get it. The line, it always moves against me.
Now, why do you think that is, Qwan?
Because I'm good at making the wrong bets?
That's exactly right. You're a fish.
No.
It's true. You are. Now, how can we fix it?
Last word, Cheetah?
Last word, Cheetah. Damn right. How's it going, everybody? I am Preston Johnson. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV.
As a general philosophy.
That's exactly right. You're a fish.
Qwan, by the way, my producer, Qwan Young, doing a good job of taking the calls. How you doing today, guys?
Hey, man, how are you?
We appreciate you guys tuning in. Welcome to the show, Bets TV, bringing you Last Word Cheetah. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Last Word Cheetah. I am Preston Johnson. This show is brought to you by Bets TV. I'm alongside my co-producer and co-host, Qwan Young. We're having a good time. It was a good weekend. Happy 4th of July, a little belated 4th of July celebration for everybody. Some people, I guess, get a holiday today as well. We got sports, and I need to welcome the Game Plus Network, those viewers joining us through them. This is our first day on the show on their platform, and we're excited. And for those that are unaware and haven't seen our show before, it's a little bit different maybe than other sports betting or fantasy shows. We actually take phone calls from you if you're up for it. 661-515-BETS is the phone number. And not only do we talk through your bets and try to figure out if you have a winner for us today, but we actually track them. And over the course of the month, we give away some cash. At the end, we have a leaderboard and everything that we'll post up. And last month in June, we gave away $700. We had two people that tied up on top. And so, yeah, it's a good way to interact, kind of entertain everyone else where maybe we're finding some gems, which I think we did find a few bets that we ended up betting ourselves after we had callers kind of giving us a heads up like, hey, we think this is really good. And so it kind of drives the conversation. We're excited. So welcome to Last Word Cheetah. A few big stories we have for the week. Obviously, the NBA Finals starting up. Bucks Suns. Game 1 is tomorrow. We'll get into a little more detail. The MVP markets. The Game 1 line right now, it's -6 most spots right now for the Suns in Game 1. Giannis still a question mark, game time decision. We'll find out if he's good to go. I think the market at -6 is implying he's not going to play. Otherwise, this number would be a lot shorter. And the total sitting about 217.5 across the board. We also have Game 4 of the NHL Stanley Cup. Pretty straightforward. Tampa Bay, Montreal. Tampa Bay up 3-0 in the series. This is probably it. They're about a -153 to -157 favorite in the market. The total about 5.25, like an Asian handicap. It's either 5 juiced over or 5.5 juiced under. We'll get to a little bit more Stanley Cup later. And some big stories, I guess, over the weekend. Joey Chestnut sets the record for hot dogs eaten in the hot dog eating contest yesterday morning, July 4th. We actually did our own on Friday. Qwan did 5 minutes. I don't know if you want to tell the viewers how it went. It wasn't 76 hot dogs, but it was...
Let me make sure that the viewing public understands. I'm not one to make excuses, but I was watching the hot dog contest, and they were eating 2 hot dogs at once. So that's my fatal flaw, and that's where I messed up. I only got 6 hot dogs, and yesterday I ate 0 hot dogs because I wasn't prepared, and my stomach was still doing backflips. So I'm out here preparing for next year's Last Word Cheetah hot dog eating contest where I'm going. I'm not going to say 15.5 because that was asinine. It was crazy. That was the worst decision I've ever made. But we're going to get more than 6. We might get double digits. I'm going to be working on it.
So Qwan guaranteed me. He said, I can get at least 15 in 5 minutes. So we set the line at 15 and a half. He did 6 total. He's trying to pretend like if he had known they go 2 at once that he would have been able to do more. His problem is, and when I actually tried it myself, you can't chew that fast. It just stays in your mouth. Like, that's why they dunk when you're watching it on Sundays. The pros, they dunk it in liquid. It helps them just swallow it whole. It's nasty as all can be. But he finished 6 in 5 minutes. It wasn't bad, but when you said you can do at least 15 and you only get 6, look, it looks bad. But shout out to Joey Chestnut. The dude's immortal. Just 76 hot dogs. He broke his own record. I think he's won it now 14 times. Maybe it's 15. 14. Yeah. That's not bad. I don't know. Has anyone won that many titles in any sport, any league?
I think he's tied with, was it Federer? I think they showed
for a certain major or something like that. Okay. Although I think majors are multiple times a year though, right?
I think so.
So he has more shots at it. I don't know. Joey Chestnut might be the greatest athlete we've ever seen.
Easily.
Maybe
nobody
we'll do a segment.
Can do that.
We might just do another segment about Chestnut. By the way, officially starting, we talked about it in June. We had $700 that were in a prize pool we gave to the callers, the leaderboard. I tried to eat vegan last month. I did pretty well, but each time I messed up, I had to put $100 into the pot. This time we're doing the Beyonce diet. I guess we call it that because Qwan said Beyonce would go on it in between tours. It's technically the lemonade diet. You can see me here kind of concocting it. It's some water, lemon juice, maple syrup, and cayenne, and you put it together, and that's all you can drink. It's basically a fast/cleanse, and so that's all you can drink all day. And on top of that, I did do the salt water flush in the morning today. I'll do it again tonight. Qwan guaranteed me. Now, you give us a little rundown because you had to do this, or you at least attempted it, for a tryout. You were trying to lose some weight before a tryout because Qwan played football. He played the AFL, and he was trying to get underweight. And he was talking about it. Technically, I think the goal is to try to get to 10 days straight. You did 6. You guaranteed I couldn't do 2. And I said, hell no. Okay, $500 for the July leaderboard for the callers minimum. We'll do today. We'll do tomorrow. So we just started this today. We'll have updates later tonight, and then tomorrow on the show we'll see how I'm really feeling. But when you did 6 days, you said it was that bad. You're so confident I can't do 2 days of fasting of drinking this drink.
When you go home today, I want you to chart how many food commercials you see.
No, I'm staying away from the TV.
And then when you go home, I want you to look at how many times you just walk towards the kitchen. And, I'm going to give you a little leeway. I'm pretty sure there's going to be something you do that's outside of the rules. Maybe, like I said, I took a teaspoon of peanut butter and I would lick it. I would drink the syrup, which is allowed. I told him to suck on the lemons to kind of fill them up.
Sure.
But 2 days, are we saying Wednesday is the complete 2 days?
Yeah, after I go to sleep. So when I wake up Wednesday morning, that 2 days is complete. I'm not going to cheat. Like, this is $500 of mine that I give away to the callers if I fail. We gave away $700 last month. We're going to do more challenges over the course of this month. I have no reason to cheat you guys out of money I'm just giving away anyway. I'm not even going to eat peanut butter. I think I can do 2 days. To me, it just feels like a mental challenge. And for those that aren't aware, my background's in sports psychology, and then I turned to betting on sports for a long time. Then I actually worked for ESPN for a few years. I've done some work with the NBA this last year and Yahoo. Now I'm doing my own show here, Bets TV. But my background is psychology, and I love just kind of the game behind you trying to just mentally accomplish something that is seemingly difficult, and especially when the physical ailment of it is trying to tell you hey, you need food. So I'm going for it. I'm going to give it a whirl. Sooner or later, we will find out, but I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to do this 100%. 661-515-BETS. We are going to have a few breaks today. We're going to be taking one shortly, but please call in. Tell us whether you have a play early on in the NBA Finals Game 1, again tomorrow, Bucks Suns. We have Game 4 of the Stanley Cup. We have an entire slate of baseball. We can talk Diamond if you'd like. Or if you've done a diet before like this and tried the lemonade, throw it at me. You can tell me if I'm going to fail or lose. We want to hear from your calls. Qwan, any thoughts real quick about Qwan fades? Because for those that also haven't watched the show before, we track Qwan's record. He's not a professional sports bettor or anything. He's 500 in June. We're going to have some opportunities here starting today to get Qwan's record up above 500 this month. That's the goal. My recommendation in reality is to fade, go against whatever he likes. and we're going to take some calls on the other side. We'll also hit on some Qwan fades. Good luck to Qwan, maybe. Yeah, no.
I just want to know, or I want to talk to everybody who faded my under Friday. Congratulations on the one win for the leaderboard. We got a lot of leaderboard winners thanks to me being unable to finish 15 and a half hot dogs. But I'm coming back with a vengeance. I got Chestnut over 9.5 in the first minute. I missed 73 to 74 for his total. So I think that puts me at 1-2 in July.
That's okay.
This is the Tim Tebow moment. I'm going to look in the camera and I'm going to say something really dramatic. From this point forward, we're not losing. Qwan fades. Winning streak for the rest of the month. Take that to the bank.
661-515-BETS. We'll talk to you guys on the other side.
Commercials.
Welcome back, everybody, to Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV. We welcome again the Game Plus Network viewers who are seeing us for the first time. We are taking your calls. We're talking through your bets, and you guys have a chance not only to impress me, impress my co-host Qwan Young, but also win some cash. We gave away $700 in June to a leaderboard that we tracked your bets, see how you guys do. We're going to do the same thing this month. We'll start with some calls. We do have someone on the line. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah. This is Preston. How you doing today?
Hey, doing pretty well. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Who are we speaking to?
Andrew in Chicago.
Awesome, man. Welcome to the show. Tell us, you got a winner for us today?
I hope so. I got to get off the snide. Tonight, I'm looking at the San Francisco Giants to stay hot with Kevin Gosman on the mound. Okay. He had a couple bad outings, but I look from the rebound against the Cardinals' whole offense. First 5 isolation money line on the Giants with, I think, Kim's pitching for the Cardinals. He's kind of been so-so this year.
Okay, so the best price I can give you looking at the board right now is about -211. That's at Pinnacle. Okay. So I'll give you the -211. So if you do lose, we're tracking units for those that are thinking maybe we're just tracking wins for this leaderboard for the free cash at the end of July. We're tracking units. So he loses, he's a -2.11, right? He's not going to just have a free shot at a win with a favor that's likely to get there. I will say this, and thank you for the call. We appreciate the bet. Good luck tonight. I think I jinxed Kevin Gosman when we talked about a week ago. We did an entire segment, and I'm a Dodgers fan. I'm from LA. We're down here in sunny Southern California, and I did a whole segment on the Giants and just kind of their crazy start this year. and gave them credit and said their underlying metrics, maybe they aren't the best team in baseball. At the time they had, I think, 50 wins, was number one. I said, hey, look, they're one of at least the top 6 to 7 teams, probably top 5. Like, their numbers aren't lying. I said Kevin Gausman, Cy Young candidate. And then sure enough, since then, I think his last 2 starts has been a disaster. So I hope he bounces back. I hope we get a W for the caller. We do have another one on the line. All right, let's bring him in. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah. This is Preston. Who are we talking to?
Hey, Preston, Qwan?
Yeah, I got you, man. How you doing?
It's Patrick from St. Louis calling
Excellent.
again. I got to get off the snide too. I think I'm 1-3 on my show picks, and that's not sufficient. So I'm not in front of my computer, so I can't rattle off a bunch of stats. But I'm taking the over in the Twins White Sox game tonight. Dylan Cease, he's one of the spin rate culprits. If you look at his last 3 starts, there's a precipitous decline in his spin rate. And so I think he may be fade material for a while. White Sox, Twins, both. I know they're in the top 10 of WRC Plus in the last 7 days. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ride with it.
Okay, so I remember we talked over a bet before. It might have been like 3 weeks back when we were kind of first getting launched, and it was a Twins game. And I think you liked...
It was the Twins Royals, I think.
Yeah, you liked one of the sides, but then we both concluded that maybe the over was just the better bet. They both won. So Correct. I do remember that. You have some wins under your belt from back in June. Similar here, we do have the Twins. You like the over. I will say the market has agreed. It's moved up from it opened 9.5, juice slightly over. Now it's 10 across the board, even a couple of 10.5 showing. So I can give you 10 over minus 111. That's the best juice. That's the best price I can see right now. Okay. So I'll give that to you.
Yeah, I know I played it. Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, no problem at all, man. We appreciate the call, Patrick.
All right, back to the pool. See you guys.
Take it easy. Enjoy the holiday. We appreciate it. We do have another caller. Cool. We'll bring him on right now. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah. This is Preston. Who are we talking to?
Hey, Preston. How's it going? It's Ryan from Indiana.
Awesome. We had a winner from Ryan in Indiana on Friday. I don't know if we have the graphic from the Friday winners. I believe you were first inning yes in a Tampa Bay Rays game, if I recall, minus 125. I'm not sure if you're going back to the first inning well. Let us know what you like tonight.
Tonight, I'm going to the strikeout market. I'm looking at Trevor Rogers with the Marlins, I believe he pitches for.
Yep.
He's 6.5. I think I see a minus 105 out there at Bet Wildwood and Play Up in Colorado, minus 106 at Superbook. I think the fair market price is, more around minus 120, minus 125. So if you can get something a little bit less than that, in that minus 105, minus 110 range on under 6.5, I think you're in pretty good shape.
I will say this. I am completely okay with people calling in and betting against pitchers going up against my Dodgers. So I'm on board. If you can compare prices to other books and you're getting nearly 20 cents better, that's usually a good sign. I will say this. Rogers has been incredible. I believe he's a candidate for Cy Young in the National League this season. But there are some underlying metrics that point to some regression. So I agree with Ryan. I hope you get another W. You are right now, I think you're tied for first so far in July. You have 3 wins already with somebody else also sitting 3. So I hope you get 4. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thanks. Bye.
Take care. We got one more caller, I believe, waiting, right? We'll bring him in. We'll have to take a break again in a couple of minutes, but we'll bring him in. Welcome to Last Word, Cheetah. This is Preston. Who are we talking to?
Yeah, what up, Cheetah? This is Mike again. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going? I think Mike is this Mikey from Dallas?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're tied for first right now with 3 wins with Ryan, who just called from Indiana. So you guys are both sitting on top.
Yeah,
Tell us what you like tonight on the card.
Okay, so we going WNBA tonight. I'm taking New York Liberty money line versus my Dallas Wings. Liberty trying to go back-to-back. They haven't went back-to-back since May. Last time they went back-to-back, they beat the Wings on the second end. So feeling lucky tonight. So that's what I'm going with.
I was going to ask you have some inside information or something? The local team you're just betting against them?
It's not a lot I like tonight, so I looked to WNBA. Figured I'd fade my Wings and, just did some research. Like I said, they haven't really won any back-to-backs. Last time they did, they beat the Wings. So they're at home. It's a 5-point margin, a 5-point spread rather. But I'd like them to win outright. So that's what we're going with tonight.
Okay, awesome. I can give you a price of plus 190 on the money line. So if you cash this one, you'll jump up. You'll jump up ahead of Ryan. You'll have a plus 1.9 to your win tally. while
Okay,
Ryan will only be sitting 4.
that's
So
perfect.
you're in good shape, man. We appreciate the call.
Okay. All right, so I'll take it easy.
You too. Your boy Mikey going to the WNBA. I feel like he might have had a rough weekend.
He told me that he is hell-bent on winning this money. So it doesn't matter who it is, what sport it is.
He's
gonna
keep trying.
Yeah.
Like, no NBA today. Doesn't follow hockey too much. Baseball card didn't look good. WNBA. Oh, look, Dallas. I live in Dallas. I bet against them. I know Dallas isn't very good. We're going to a break. Cool, man. No problem. Qwan gave me the heads up. We will be back on the other side. We'll take some more calls from you guys, 661-515-BETS. And on top of that, we will talk Qwan fades. Stay tuned. If you can actually win. We had a set of 4 calls last break. We're back. We have 2 that have been holding, waiting on the line. The first, I believe, is Carlos, so we will patch him in. Carlos, our friend from down here in Southern California, if I recall correctly. How you doing, man? How was the holiday?
What's going on, guys? Actually, I have to correct you on that, Preston. I'm from Washington, D.C., not Southern California. Although I like Southern California, I am from Washington.
I could not have been more wrong if you think about the coasts. Yeah, I apologize. Someone else that called in once was from L.A., but it's all good.
Okay.
Tell us what you like tonight.
I'm the one. Okay, so my daughter was just here with me. She wants to learn about sports betting, but I told her it's not that easy. It's kind of like a process. I'm going to have to take her under my wing. But she said I told her a little bit about it. She likes Washington, San Diego tonight over 7.5. And I asked her why. She said Washington Nationals stink. So
wait, how old is
she? Yeah, John Lester's picture. She's 22. She just graduated from college.
So she can legally bet at least. Okay, we're good.
Absolutely. We're going to have a date night to the sports book. So that's coming up in the near future. So a daddy-daughter date at the sports book. Just imagine that when your daughter gets older.
I'm 16 years away from that, but man, I hopefully it doesn't go by too fast. I can give you the over. I was gonna say I can give you the over 7.5 at -110. It's a straight bet at 7.5. We'll lock you in, Carlos. Awesome. We appreciate the call as usual.
Always.
Take care. By the way, Washington, I'm not sure on screen they haven't listed a pitcher yet, But if the handicap from the daughter is Washington stinks and they live near Washington, just bet the over. I respect it. All right, we do have one more caller. We'll patch him in. Welcome to Last Word, Cheetah. This is Preston. Who are we talking to?
Preston, this is Bob from Washington.
Hey, Bob, also from Washington. Are you the Washington that's near Canada on the other side, or are you DC?
Yeah, Northwest. Yeah.
Okay. You I think you had the Mariners on Friday, if I recall. It actually won, right?
Yeah.
All right.
There
you go.
Right.
What you like tonight?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of funny. I was just listening to the last guy, and I did take my daughter for her 21st birthday to Vegas, and she loved betting on sports, so it was fun.
There you go.
But yeah, I wanted to ask you before I tell you. I wanted to bet the Stanley Cup. I've got I picked the Lightning to win earlier, so got some plus money on them just winning the Stanley Cup. So, but I don't know if they're going to sweep it. So, what's your sports psychology background? I don't know if you've done any analysis of just teams up 3-0 in the NHL, although I know this year's different with Montreal having fewer fans and all that. But what's your sense about this tonight?
So that's a great question. And we had Rob Pizzola on last week, who does bet the NHL professionally. I don't handicap and bet the NHL, but he had a really good point that he made that we are actually going to play a clip from that interview later in the show. So I'm going to tell you to tune in about 25 minutes or so. We'll play that and you can feel it out. But the short answer is he likes your chances and for Tampa Bay to just close it out tonight, and your future should be cashing. So congrats on that. I think you're in good shape.
Yeah, well, it feels good. Up 3-0, but they're not there yet. Yeah. All right. Well, then, with that said, since no game has been within a goal and a half, I'll just take Tampa Bay tonight on the puck line.
Okay. Just let me check up there on the price I can give you, but we can give you the -1.5 and just go for it all. Let's see. Spreads. I'll give you +170. I can give you Circa Westgate +170 on the -1.5. We are up against a break, Bob, so I'm going to cut you off soon. We appreciate the call as usual. We'll lock you in on Tampa Bay. Are we good? Are we taking it now?
Yep,
I keep going. We're going to get better at these. I need the countdowns and stuff. Do we have anyone else on the line? Okay, should we take it? Do we have time to take this one? All right, we're going to take one more call. Welcome to Last Word, Cheetah. This is Preston. Who are we speaking to? Anybody there? They hung up on me. They probably thought it was a break. On my notes, it says 127 break. So that's what I was rolling with. But do you have a date or a time? All right, we're going to roll into a break now. This is the Last Word Cheetah Show. We appreciate all 6 of you that have called. We're tracking your bets. We'll be back on the other side, finally doing Qwan fades and finally talking college football. That's my bread and butter, SEC. Stay tuned. Quan's going to start breaking down every single NFL team going forward, starting tomorrow and starting today. I'm going SEC. We're talking college football the entire time. And we're going to recap a little bit of what I've done in the past for people that are new. We have new eyes from everywhere today. I used to write a college football preview or guide. I called it the Cheetah Guide, but it was basically like what you'll see with Phil Steele magazine, but from a betting perspective, would break down every team, any of the futures bets I liked, season win totals, anything there. We're going to do something similar where we're going to cover every conference, any of the bets and futures I think are worthwhile and offer value, but we're doing it daily here on the show. So we're going to talk SEC this week. We're going to have Ray Garvin in on Friday, I believe, to also talk SEC football and kind of recap what we go through this week. But I'm going to start today, and I'm going to go in the order of my top-rated teams in each conference. So on Monday, we're going to go top 3. The top 2 shouldn't be too hard. Maybe a little bit of a surprise at number 3. Probably not. But we're going to go in order of where I power rate each of the teams in the SEC, and we'll break them down. So the first one up, no surprise, it's Alabama. I think the general sentiment from Alabama last year, other than winning a national title, is that their offense was otherworldly. They were number 1 in EPA, number 1 in success rate, and obviously they had a ton of those guys leaving to go to the NFL. So how do they bounce back? They have Bryce Young, one of the top recruits in the country, taking over. It's not Mac Jones, but can he duplicate to some extent what they were doing? But can they duplicate it without the receiver depth that they had last year? Defensively, you saw the numbers there, Quan. I don't know if you want to pop them back up one more time for the viewers. Defensively, they weren't nearly as good as you would expect from a Nick Saban team. Part of it, I think, was the fact that their offense was scoring so quickly and just the defense was on the field for quite a while. They also were a lot younger, and their depth wasn't as strong, and they bring back a good portion of the defense. So I anticipate some of the lack and loss in the offense being made up on the defensive side of the ball. They project to face the 24th most difficult schedule going forward. And my personal projection, so I do have Alabama rated number 1. I have them winning exactly 11 wins on average. So I think 12-0 obviously can happen. It's Alabama. I do think on average they are going to slip up. So when the season win total number I think is 11.5, and it's basically even juice on each side, it's a fair line. So it's nothing that I'm jumping at betting. I will say this: people that want to look ahead to week 1. Plus 17.5 you can get on Miami. The Hurricanes are getting a lot of hype. I don't necessarily buy it, and I am a little bit cautious about Derek King, what he'll be like with his knee and how he'll respond. All of the reports are positive, which is good news. My projection, again, and I think me being one of the more kind of bearish Miami Hurricane prognosticators going into the season, I still think it's 16. So if you do like the Miami side, you're getting a hook on a relatively key number on 17. I think that's the play in week 1 if you do like Miami, getting the 17.5 points against an Alabama offense that is a lot younger and just might have some growing pains, if we want to call them that. It's hard to even say that for Alabama just because they replenish and reload so frequently. But that's that. By the way, the price on their conference, I bet I wrote down minus 167 here. I don't know if we have the graphic up for some of the SEC teams that we're going to be breaking down here and their prices. Here we go. You got a minus 155. The implied price in that range is like 61 to 62.5% that they win the SEC. I have it projected at 58%. So there's no value betting Alabama at this point. That's no secret. Everybody knows it. The value is going to be elsewhere, and that's what we'll get to. My number 4 team in the country, the Georgia Bulldogs. 10.3 wins projected for me. Their season win total is 10.5, so that's about where we're at. I will say this, though. Have you looked at their schedule, Qwan? I'm not sure if you've actually dug into college football quite yet. I know you're working on the NFL pretty heavily. They play Clemson to start the year. This is a Georgia team that the last few games of the year, they ran the table after JT Daniels took over under center, highly recruited into USC. I think he tore an ACL or maybe it was multiple ligaments. The first or second game he even played for the Trojans. They didn't rush him back last year, and so he wasn't even playing for the majority of the season. But their offense took a step up right as soon as he started hurling the ball. So the question is, can Georgia's offense finally make a leap toward, look, last year EPA 45th. Success rate there a little better. Their rush game was great, 17th. But can they get to being like a top 10 offense? And if that's the case, and again, EPA isn't adjusted, by the way, for strength of schedule. It's adjusted for some garbage time, the numbers that I'm using. Success rate is adjusted for strength of schedule. I just wanted to throw that out there so people are kind of understanding the nuance behind some of those numbers. But if they get to be a top 10 offense, defensively with Kirby Smart, again, they were number 1 in success rate defensively last year. They're a little bit weaker in the secondary, but then they had 2 transfers come in. They're like All-American level transfers recently, committing to help out the defensive side. So I like Georgia quite a bit in this Clemson game to kick things off. A Clemson team that, again, they're also in my top 4, right? Georgia's at 4, Alabama's at 1. It doesn't matter. Clemson's 2 or 3. Clemson should be a small favorite, but you can get +4 out there. And here's the deal. This is why you're trying to analyze kind of the futures market as a whole. +800 out there right now on UGA to win it all. As soon as they beat Clemson in week 1, that number is like 4-1. It gets cut in half. The value on Georgia at that point is out the window. So you want the +800 right now. Well, what if they lose to Clemson? Okay, well, what if they do lose to Clemson? They play in the SEC, and if they end up winning the SEC, going to the SEC title game, and potentially upsetting Alabama, like they're going to be in the playoff regardless. So if you're in the playoff regardless, whether you lose to Clemson or not, and if they beat Clemson in this week 1 matchup, we got to roll with it. We got to go with it. I think that they can beat Clemson. I like the +4. I think anything above a 3, a key number of 3, obviously is pretty significant. Then we got to take it. And so I'm going Bulldogs. They're probably my most bullish team out of the SEC, just kind of on a national forefront. So let's go Bulldogs +800 and the +4 in week 1 against Clemson. And let's see, last one, Texas A&M, the 3rd team. Number 7 in my power rankings, just for some perspective. Phil Steele also has a number 7. PFF did a college football preview this year. They have them number 6. I've seen some others that have them around number 6. I think 7's fair. I project them to win 9.2 wins. If you made me bet the 9.5, would lean under very slightly. If you could find a friendly juice on the under 9.5, that's the direction I would lean. But nothing that I think is worth betting. They're coming off of a 9-1 season, I think, in which their only loss was to Alabama. And so everyone's thinking, hey, look, here it is. Jimbo's there, I think year 3, right? So are they going to bounce back? Are they going to be as good? Well, they lost a lot of that offensive production. And Kellen Mond, specifically a quarterback who had a ton of games under his belt, is in the NFL now. So for me, it's a stay away on Texas A&M. Do they deserve to be a top 10 team? Yes, they have the talent. They have the pedigree there, but not quite enough for me to actually look at betting their futures within conference. I think Alabama and Georgia are better. And the 9.5 is pretty fair. Again, I actually would lead under the other way. So nothing for me on TAMU. But as a whole, the SEC, we're starting with them because they're the strongest. They're generally, right, the best conference in football. Heisman candidates. Can an SEC quarterback win the Heisman? Yes, they can. But can they do it if you're not a quarterback? What's your read on that, Qwan? I don't know. I know you're writing some stuff down over there on the board. But as someone that played the sport, back in the day, they used to give the award to running backs more frequently. They used to give it to receivers. Quarterbacks are kind of the thing now. It's a passing era. Do you think Isaiah Spiller has a chance? 50-1 for A&M. Let's say they do win 11 games. He rushes for 20+ TD, something like that. Or is the running back just dead?
I don't think it's dead. I just think that you can't eclipse like some of the seasons that we've seen. Guys like a Barry Sanders in '88, like you're not getting that type of production from running backs anymore. So I'm thinking dual threat running backs where you're catching passes out the backfield, kick return yards, like everything where you're putting up big numbers. It's hard to, I guess, outperform quarterbacks just because, like you said, it is a quarterback-driven league right now. So most of the stuff that they're doing is, swing pass, like anything to get the quarterbacks involved in the game, whether it be swings to the running back or anything else. So I say I would lean towards quarterback in any situation. That's just how the game is now.
And that's what the odds tell you. That's why Spiller's 50-1, and you'll see quarterbacks at 10-1. We are going to take a break. That was our rundown on some of the SEC teams. 661-515-BETS. If you want to call in and talk about your bets, we'll take them on the other side. Stay tuned. We're back. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV. We just broke down the SEC. We're going to get into every conference, the teams day by day, the futures that I like. Quick recap. We talked Alabama, Georgia, A&M. 3 of my top 7 teams in the country this year. Georgia plus 800, so I think that's value. And plus 4 against Clemson in week 1. I'm bullish the Bulldogs, bullish JT Daniels, and a real quarterback under center that is highly recruited and hopefully in an offense that can take some steps forward. You ready to talk NBA? You ready to go Qwan fades? I know you want to go. All right, there it is. We talked about it earlier. This is the segment where you bet against whatever Qwan likes. But I want to preface this a little bit because I think you were right about this one. Relative to price, I'm not sure, but we talked about the NBA Finals futures MVP props 2 weeks ago. It seemed a little bit strange that Booker was like plus 160 and CP3 was like plus 500 you could get out there. We thought that they probably should be closer to even. At the time, Booker had just dropped a 40-point triple-double. Chris Paul was out because of his COVID stuff. He missed Game 1 and Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. He comes back. He has the crazy Game 7. He drops 41, 8 assists, 0 turnovers. Impressive game, one of the best he's ever played. Now the Suns are in the NBA Finals. The price now for Finals MVP, now that it's officially set and they're starting tomorrow, plus 140 on Chris Paul, plus 275 on Booker. It's not quite like a 5-1 shot, but you can get almost 3-1 now on Booker. Has your sentiment changed? What you going with for Finals MVP?
So for Finals MVP, it's going to be, unless there's a major injury, he misses games, or Suns in 4, I think it's going to be Chris Paul. I think we're doing leadership. I think Chris Paul is going to get them there, and you saw in game, I believe it, what was it, the closeout game, where he just took over, and all he's going to do is basically if you guys don't know, Preston's moving around the studio right now. But Chris Paul, I think that's the leader you need. That's one thing that I said about coaching was that Monty Williams had another coach on the floor in Chris Paul. So most of the stuff you're getting from him, it's not going to be, we don't need 30 points out of Chris Paul every night. We don't need him to be the leading scorer. We don't need pretty much any of that. We just need Chris Paul show up every night, make sure he leads the Suns to the championship. And I'm like, now the pricing thing is something that I'm not really sure about, and it's something that me and Preston that we're going to have to talk about. But 100%, I'm sticking with Chris Paul winning Finals MVP. I think that Finals MVP is narrative-based mostly, so who's not going to rally for Chris Paul in year 16 to get a Finals MVP after he did what he did with the Suns, turning them around in one season? I think it was, 10 years without the playoffs and, going straight to the NBA Finals. So barring any type of Devin Booker 40-40, 50-40, I think no matter what the outcome, if the Suns win, I'm going Chris Paul.
So the reason I said it is relative to price, and a lot of that is because it was plus 550, plus 500 a few weeks ago. I want to give you credit for that. I know you're locking it in now as your Qwan Fades official bet at plus 140, which is fine, but you were ahead of the game. So you went with Chris Paul for similar reasons before. Has anybody ever, in Monday apparently is a holiday for most places, and it's 90 degrees in the studio today because our whole floor where we rent out this space for the studio, no one's here. They didn't turn on the air. So I don't know why I'm wearing a hoodie and I'm crawling under to try to fix something. That was great. But now I'm officially
sweaty.
I got the sweat going.
Listen, I'm dying over here. My back sweat. I can't sit back in the chair because it's leather or whatever material it is. My forehead is shiny. This isn't just lighting. I'm literally in here dying. But I'm dying with Qwan Fades. This is gonna last until the end of the finals. Qwan Fades, Chris Paul, Finals MVP.
Can I just say last thing? The whole narrative around voting for Finals MVP versus who has the most stats, that's a real thing. These awards, these futures bets are based on voting and narrative. So I think Chris Paul definitely, I don't mind it. I think it's the guy that as long as Booker doesn't drop 50 to 40 every game, like you said, I think you're going to win this one. And I do think unless Giannis comes back and the Bucks win the series, it's the Suns to be had. Do we have anybody on the line by chance?
We don't.
We're clear. All right. If anybody wants, we got about 10 more minutes left on the show today. 661-515-BETS is the line. Talk about anything that you like on the card today, or maybe even tomorrow morning if you're looking international. But we track your bets. We have a leaderboard through the end of the month. We're going to give away cash. In June, we gave away $700 to the caller that was the best at making winning picks. That's what we're here about. Whoever going to have the best profitability or ROI, however you want to call it, we're going to do it.
What would you say? So just looking at the series, I know we're going to talk probably more tomorrow about it since we're starting game one. Game one starts tomorrow, right?
Yeah, you're good.
So what are you, when you're looking at it, you're looking at an injured Giannis coming back. You're looking at a really good Bucks team when Chris Middleton's playing and he's playing well. What are your, I guess, projections, or what are you looking at specifically for that?
This is interesting because, going into game 5 without Giannis, I thought the market overreacted. We liked Milwaukee in game 5. Similar in game 6. They announced Trace playing. The number gets as high as 4. And I just thought Milwaukee had kind of been overlooked. I know Giannis is a big deal. He's won the MVP. Like, a lot of these other guys hadn't been shooting the 3-ball well. But Middleton and Jrue Holiday, I think they're the two best players on the court, and especially that game 5, they're at home, no Trey. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like the market overreacted. But I will say this, kind of now going back the other way, because the market reacts. We talked about it even within the series with the Clippers and the Suns, and the Clippers upset the Suns in Phoenix in game 4, was it, on the road? Or no, it was the one where it moved from like 5 to 7. It was game 5 on the road. No Zubats. The Suns were at home laying 5. It moved to 7. The Clippers won that one outright, and so I thought there was value on the Suns in game 6 just because the market's pretty reactive. And this is one where I think the Suns clearly defensively are a lot, but they're not letting Middleton score 23 in like a quarter, like the Hawks did twice. By the way, like we talked about, the Hawks are not an elite defensive team. And DeAndre Hunter, who's probably their best wing defender, wasn't even playing in this series. So I think the Suns are quite a bit better on that side of the court, and that'll probably be the difference. We have a caller. I think we have to take a break first. If we have someone, if you don't mind, please hold. We're going to take a 2-minute break, quick break, and we'll get you on the other side. We'll talk your bets, and I'll leave you with the last word. And we'll hear from our friend Rob Pizzola, who took an interview with us last week. We'll be back on the other side. Welcome back to Last Word Cheetah. We do have one more segment before we leave you guys. Till tomorrow, we'll be back as usual, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. YouTube, you can find us on Twitter, Twitch, as well as the Game Plus Network. We appreciate our partnership and involvement with them. We have one more caller on the line. He hailed. So Rob, one of our winners from last month, he had a share of the $700 with 2 early picks in the NBA playoffs. I think they were first quarter bets. So you did well there. Welcome back. Tell us what you like on today's card.
Preston, I'm actually going with something that tomorrow, the Euro game, I'm going with Italy over Spain.
Okay, what price do you see on that?
On Pinnacle, I think they had about a plus 154 to win in 90 minutes.
Okay, you want to roll with that?
Yes, I'm going to roll with that.
Perfect. Any reason why? Or are you just picking something for some action?
I just think I've been watching the Euro pretty much the whole tourney. I just think Italy's looked a little better than Spain. They've got a little better finishing quality, so I like Italy in that one.
Nice, man. We'll lock you in for that, and you'll get the plus 154. We're tracking units this time, not just wins, so I hope you take it down, man. Enjoy your night.
Thanks.
All right, we had the call earlier. Bob asked, I believe it was, what do you do? What's the psychology when a team is down 3-0? We talked to Rob Pizzola earlier last week talking about the potential scenario of this Lightning series getting to 2-0 or 3-0. And let's hear back, listen what he said. Down going home in game 3, the NBA thing, it's like where those first quarter and first half spreads are extremely inflated because they've historically done really well on that spot. Is there anything that exists like that? So assuming Tampa Bay does take care of business tonight and Montreal's down 2-0, is that like the one chance people get to bet Montreal? I know it's probably price dependent, but is there anything historically that tells us anything?
So the answer is no, because it's now being priced in. Up to a couple years ago, that would have been a really good spot, but you're now seeing the home ice advantage that Montreal will be given, for example, in Game 3, will be higher than what a typical home ice advantage would be. And when I say that, I'm saying the market is going to do that. It's naturally going to give Montreal that larger home ice. And it will be a larger home ice because they're going to have more fans in general. But that's not a spot that I'm looking for. I will give away a spot. I mean, it's the 3-0 sweep, 3-0 series lead, potential sweep in the NHL is underpriced right now in the hockey market. So that's one I'm comfortable giving away. I'm sure it's not going to last too much longer. You hate, like, if you're just talking about it from like a hypothetical point of view, it's very weird to say that a team might give up down 3-0, but I do think that there's potentially some psychology there of like, you know, you lose 3 games in a row to a team and you're like, this team has our number. And for whatever reason, the team that's down 0-3 tends to really underperform in that game 4. That's not to say that they can't win, but if we do get to a price where it's, if we do get to a situation in the series where the Lightning are up 3-0 in the series, it's very likely that they're going to be underpriced based off of my, historical analysis of that situation.
Sure, and it won't be as juicy because they'll be on the road, and so you can at least get something reasonable at that point. I think that's interesting because Rob dropping a little alpha for everybody there, because the NBA, the team up 3-0, absolutely, it's pretty inflated. Like, a team that's laying 4 points in game 3, they win that one and cover, then it's like a -7 in game 4 to sweep. It's just like pretty dramatic or drastic. So if the NHL hasn't quite gotten to that point yet, that's good. That's worth watching just because Tampa Bay is a pretty big favorite here, and we might end up seeing it. There you have it. I'm trusting our guy, Rob. That's my last word. This is after it was 1-0. Tampa Bay had won game 1. I believe it was 5-1. Again, this is someone coming from me. Don't bet NHL regularly. But I got to trust Rob. He says, hey, if we get to 3-0, this is the spot that is still undervalued, underpriced in the market. And again, it's not necessarily that the team's giving up. They're trying, but there's probably some sort of psychology there. Regardless, historically, he's gone back, done the work, and there is value on the team up 3-0 to finish off the sweep, which I am locking in. That is the last word for today's show for my bet of the day. I don't have anything on the diamond. We'll talk NBA more tomorrow. I believe it was Bob who did call in and asked about that, who liked the puck line. He went -1.5, plus 154, something in that range. Or no, actually, it was even higher, I believe. So he's locked into Tampa Bay. I'm locked into Tampa Bay. Qwan, can we get you on board the Tampa Bay Lightning train? I know for Qwan Fades, you went NBA MVP future. We're going to talk more NBA tomorrow too, but can we get a Qwan Fade for today? Can you join the crowd? Can you join us and go with Tampa Bay?
No, because I don't want to jinx people. I don't want to pick Tampa Bay and Montreal.
So you already believe in the fade,
Yeah.
in the power of the fade. Maybe you take one for the team and just go Montreal.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm going Montreal tonight.
Plus
to
145.
take it to 3-1. There you go. Plus 145. 2 Qwan pays today.
By the way, minus 150, minus 151, the best price I see there on Tampa Bay in the market. I think we're wrapping up. It's a pretty good first show. We appreciate your guys' time. We appreciate you tuning in again. Game Plus Network, for those that are tuning in for the first time, thank you for the calls. This is Last Word Cheetah. We are a show brought to you by Bets TV. We will have more shows coming to you in the future daily from the West Coast, the East Coast. You can always call in every day, 661-515-BETS at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific every day. Qwan's over there. I thought he gave me a thumbs up. We're going to wrap it up. We appreciate your guys' time, and we'll see you tomorrow, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.